Hello again, viewers. Welcome to this Wednesday edition of NFL Web TV. I'm your host, Samuel Zito, joined today by McLeod superstar Cathal Corr. And Cathal, it's been a good year personally. You're sitting on top of the goal-kicking table, and for someone who's only started to push forward just recently, it's a fair effort. You've kicked 40 goals already this year, but it must be good to have some good form in front of the big sticks.
Yeah, it's a bit of a surprise. I didn't think I'd be leading the goal kicking, especially this year, and it's been good. Can't complain.
Well, your past month in particular, you've been able to get quite a few bags in a row. We watched you against Eltham a couple of weeks back in the NFL matches today, and you kicked 6 goals in a 1-point victory, and you got in the score sheet against Monty in a loss last week and 2 weeks ago, and then last week again in another win you were kicking a few goals. But it must be good to actually be able, particularly in the last 3 weeks, to kick those big bags of goals while you are in some good form.
Yeah, our boys have been pretty good getting the ball inside the forward line this year, so I've been pretty much pretty lucky that way, and if I kick the goals, they get pretty angry at me, I guess.
Well, you did say this before, that against Monty, despite kicking a bag, you did miss a few as well. So, any extra goal kicking practice you've been doing throughout this year at all? You said you might have kicked about maybe 9 points in that loss to Monty.
Yeah, I did a lot after that game, Monty, and the next week I kicked real straight, kicked 7-1 or something like that. So this week I kicked another 4 or 5 points. I'm struggling week on, week off at the moment.
Well, when we watched you against Eltham, you did kick a few freak goals as well. And there's one in particular where you kicked it soccer style over your head. So do you work on those sort of things at training, kicking those freak goals? I reckon that day you probably kicked about 3 contenders for goal of the year.
The Arsenal thing was a kid. I used to play soccer, so it was almost just, I didn't know why I did it. It just happened.
Well, I guess to go back into your childhood as well, obviously born in Ireland and came to Australia, I think it was about when you were 10, is that right?
Yeah, moved here when I was 10, yeah.
When did you first start playing with the overball, and how did you get involved in football, and was there a preference over football to soccer, and why so?
I played soccer when I first moved here, and the only reason I started playing footy is because my friends at school picked on me until I actually did. They used to pinch my nipples and beat me up until I started to play, and then I played 1 year at school and never looked back.
Well, you've taken to it quite well, and you had a great career as a junior, and of course you picked up by St Kilda in the rookie list. Can you tell us some of the emotions about you getting picked up and your time, the brief time at St Kilda, and also with the VFL at Casey and also Coburg?
Yeah, in Coburg. Yeah, was real thrilled to get picked up in the rookie draft. Didn't think it was going to happen. It was a big surprise for me, and I learned a lot about footy in that year that I never even had an idea about, which was really good, which probably makes it a bit easy for me today to play at the local levels. And it was just really exciting, the whole thing, and it just kind of went really quick.
Well, you adapted quite well, because you said you did come here while you were 10, when you were 10 years old, and of course playing football at the Northern Knights as well. Do you think anything was it to do with soccer perhaps, or any reason why you were able to adapt so quickly to the Australian game?
I'm a real competitive person, so if I get a little challenge against me, I like to win. So I just made sure I picked it up. That was the way it was.
And whereabouts did you play your junior footy? Was it within the Northern?
I played for McLeod in the junior footy as well. That's why I'm playing seniors there still. And
was there anyone in particular who helped you when you first came across, and perhaps with your skills and your kicking? Was there anyone, any coaches who now you recall fondly their advice in the past?
Mark Lynch, Nick Lynch is old man. He's our coach in juniors, and he helped me a fair bit. I don't know about the kicking and stuff. I think that came a bit later. I'm not too sure who helped me with that, but I'm not sure at all.
Well, I guess at your time at St Kilda, it was for them a successful period at that stage. Who were some of the better players you trained alongside while at St Kilda, and how much did you take away from their games when you were able to look at them so closely?
There's one in particular, was Robert Harvey. Training with him was ridiculous. You couldn't believe the stuff he'd do. You just wouldn't stop. When you have your rest periods, he'd still be going, and all the pre-season training, bike riding and stuff. He's unbelievable. So that made me realise I've got a long way to go to actually maybe get an AFL game, and it didn't end up happening, so still got a long way to go.
But I guess despite not playing at an AFL game, you must have been pretty proud of, first of all, just being able to actually get onto an AFL list, and also just actually, as I said, just being on the list, and your time at the club must be something you look back with fondly.
Yeah, definitely. I look back all the time and think, what if, and we've done something different, but it's definitely a really good experience I had, and it helped me a lot with my football, and probably as a person as well.
The year after you left St Kilda, you went and played with Coburg in the VFL as well. What was it, after playing at Coburg, what was it that brought you back to McLeod? Obviously you said you played as a junior, but was there anything else in particular that brought you back to the club where you played your junior footy at?
Well, Nick Lynch played Coburg with me, and we played through juniors all together and nights and stuff, so we both decided that we'd go back and play local and see if we can get a flag, because we lost 3 in a row before we went back, me and Nick, so we'll go back and see if we can win one, and haven't ever since.
And of course, you did win one in 2009, the Division 2 Premiership. That must have been a pretty proud achievement for yourself to go back to your own junior club and get a premiership for a club you played all your junior footy at.
Yeah, it was really good. Like, especially a lot of the older guys on the club, really happy with the premiership, which really made it worthwhile for, especially me. I'm not too sure Nick, but it was really good winning that. And
since then, your club's adapted quite well to Division 1 football. Last year, of course, you stayed up in the top flight, and this year you're going great guns at the halfway. After 10 rounds, you're sitting 5 wins and 5 losses, only percentage out of the top 5. Realistically, did you think you'd be a chance of playing finals early this year? And I guess now that you are 5 and 5, you must think you're a genuine chance of playing finals footy this year.
Look, we were always really confident that we can play good footy when we put a mind to it and actually put 4 quarters together. So playing final was always there, but not almost realistic. But at the moment it is, obviously. We're doing quite well. I think there's some new game plans and we've got in this year that's really holding us good.
Well, I think you're a bit modest at the moment. I think you're probably one of the main reasons why your club's going so well. And not only are you leading the goal kicking award, but I don't know if you're aware, you're also leading the Coaches Player of the Year award. You've polled 16 votes so far this year, and you are leading by 1. But personally, what do you put your good form down to?
I'm not sure. I'm doing everything the same we did last year, but maybe it's a bit more opportunity in the games and stuff. I've been forward a bit more, so maybe get a bit more notice, kicking a few more goals, and keep them in the middle. Might stay on forward the rest of the year. See what happens.
We have got a pretty strong midfield line, of course, led by your captain Kane Shaw, and also you've got some pretty good ruck stocks in Chris Long as well. It must be good getting some delivery from the likes of that midfield.
Yeah, it's real good. Like that's why I'm keeping the goals, because keep hitting me out. It's great.
Well, your club's form on the home ground at Winton's been really good this year. As I mentioned before, we saw you in your win against Altham, and also you knocked off Northcote Park, who were playing some pretty good footy at that stage, and you kept them to just 1 goal. You obviously like that ground, and you're making it somewhat of a fortress in Division 1.
Yeah, it's a bit of it's on a slant, so it kind of tricks everyone, I think. And I don't know why we play so well there, but we just seem to really able to hold teams up and let them get a run on us. So hope we can keep doing that the rest of the year.
And on the weekend again, another good win against North Heidelberg. I guess they are struggling at the moment, but it must be good to keep getting those wins just rolling at the moment.
Well, that's 2 in a row for us, and there's a bit of confidence in the boys, and hopefully that will help us this week with Bandura and might give them a good crack.
Well, last time around, Bandura, they probably inflicted your worst loss of the year, and I know that was going back a while now, but the boys must be pretty keen to atone for that loss earlier this year.
Oh, definitely. We'll go on with a different attitude this time, I think. We'll know that we want to fight all day to get the win, so I don't think we're much slacking off during the game, and hopefully we can play the 4 quarters and get close.
Well, you mentioned you won 2 in a row. That win against Greensborough must have given your club plenty of confidence moving forward to beat a club. I mentioned you beat Northcote Park as well, but to beat another club entrenched inside the top 4, and I think at that stage they'd come off a win against Bandura themselves, so they were pretty confident going into that game. It must have given your boys plenty of confidence to knock off a team like Greensborough.
Yeah, definitely. I don't think we've beaten Greensborough in a very long time. I don't know if it's true, but someone said since '81 we haven't beaten them. So to beat them was wicked. I really enjoyed that, and the confidence after that game, we just think we should have really beaten North Heidelberg last week by a lot more. So we're a little bit disappointed in our efforts, but I think it was the confidence over the whole thing. It's going to make us play better the whole way through the year. Well,
I guess it is such a close competition this year, and you've won a close one against Altham. Of course, it was decided with the last kick of the game, and I guess you were 4 goals up in that one, and also we were talking off here about the round 1 loss to Whittlesea, where you led by 30 odd points and they ran over you. Do you think your team is able to run out the 4 quarters, and do you think they'll be able to maintain their intensity throughout the rest of the season, or how confident are you going forward from here?
I think we definitely are getting better at running out 4 quarters. It's more of just a mental thing for us, and I think over the last couple of weeks we've played mostly 4 quarters, maybe 10-minute laps here or there. So we're getting better at it, and with the game plans, all it is we've got to stick to them, and the boys are starting to learn that, so it's getting real good.
Well, your coach Christian Brown's been with the playing group for a while now, so it must be good to play under a coach who you're comfortable with and who'd know each boy's gains to a T now that he's coached you for quite a while.
Yeah, he's real good. He's one of our best mates now, and get on real well with Papa, and he helps us a lot. He puts a lot of trust in all the boys, which in turn they play better, obviously. So that's why I think we're doing so well as well.
Well, 2 weeks ago you had the chance to play with your younger brother Aiden, and I believe he's down at the Northern Knights as well. What was it like to play alongside him in that win against Greensborough?
Yeah, it was a bit strange, him being 7 years younger than me. I never thought I'd play footy with him, and yeah, it was really good, and he played really well, so I was pretty impressed by him. It was good.
Was it the first time you've ever played a game alongside him?
Yeah, definitely, yeah. So it was really weird, 'cause he's only 16, so I'm surprised we actually played together. I don't think it was ever going to happen.
Well, I guess he's following in your footsteps. I guess playing with the Northern Knights and all. Have you given him any advice? I guess that you picked up along the way, and anything that you've handed down to him being an older brother?
Yeah, I give him plenty of advice. Me and Aiden share a room and have since he's born. So he's always picking my brain and annoying me every day. So a lot of advice going through him. I don't know if it's any good, but he might be doing something right.
Well, yeah, I'm sure. I guess that if he does follow in your footsteps, he's doing quite well. But I guess as a club, I mean, as I mentioned before, only come up to Division 1 last year. Internally, has there been any talk of finals? Or I guess most clubs just say it's 1 week at a time. But maybe a training or anything, have the coaching staff mentioned at all about the possibilities of playing in the finals this year?
Yeah, definitely. The start of the year was more like, we don't want to get relegated, we want to stay out. I know the focus has changed from we want to play finals, we're trying to work other ways. Having a game we want to win so we can play finals, so it's definitely a realistic goal for us at the moment.
And I guess in the coming weeks you do come up against some of your main rivals, and I guess that's why that win against Eltham in particular is a team that you'll be vying for a spot with it come finals time is so important. But I guess on the flip side, we mentioned you lost to Monty, who are also going to be really pushing for that 5th spot as well. But in a competition where it's so even, I guess every week you really can't afford a lapse, and that probably with the exception of North Heidelberg, there's 9 teams in there who can beat anyone on any given day.
Yeah, it's true. You don't know what's going to happen every week, and you look at the results every week and you think, what's going on? So it just keeps chopping and changing who's winning and who's losing. So you've got no idea what's going to happen. So it's got to keep you in the game all times.
Well, I thank you for your time tonight. Thanks for answering all our questions. And of course, McLeod taking on Bandura again on this Saturday. So make sure you get down there, Kangas fans, and support the boys. I guess a win on Saturday will probably put you inside the top 5. So it is a big day for the club. So make sure you get down and support them. Thank you for watching today, and stay tuned tomorrow night when myself and Liam will preview all the upcoming action of round 11 in the NFL. Thank you, and see you tomorrow night.